I think that Syria is facing an absolute catastrophe, a middle-income country dissolving in front of our eyes. This is the biggest humanitarian test of the 21st century so far, and the truth is we, the international community, are failing it. The IRC, my organisation, has a lot of staff working across border, helping about 1.4 million Syrians so far with medical aid. But the truth is that the roots of this problem are deep now, and with the UN reporting that 3/4 of the population are going to need aid, you can see the scale of the need, but it's also a human tragedy. There are 250,000 people who are literally cut off from any help at all in besieged cities. So I think that this is a major crisis, and it's one where world leaders need to step up several gears if we're to meet the human need that exists.
What evidence is there, in your view, that they are ready to step up?
Well, I think it's been a catalogue of confusion and division so far, not just on the political side. We know that peace hasn't been brought in the last 3 years, but also on the humanitarian side. So far, UN appeals have only been funded to the tune of 50 or 60%. A lot of the funding is very short term. And if you think about something as basic as blankets to help people get through the winter, we know that there are 7 times as many refugees as last year, but we haven't been able to raise any more money than we had last year. So while we're delivering 70,000 so-called winterization kits to desperate Syrians, we know, and that will probably help 350,000 people, we know there are literally millions more who are facing a freezing winter without the basics.
This is an appeal for £4 billion being announced in the middle of December, where people are in need right now, today. So you have to ask the question about what happens to these victims in the next few weeks and months.
Well, you're absolutely right to point to the urgency of this situation. I was in Lebanon and Turkey just 2 weeks ago, and you could walk around without your jacket on. Now there are freezing conditions. There are pictures of children without any shoes in snow-covered tented settlements. And I think that anyone who wants to make a difference themselves obviously can, through all of the charities who are raising money to provide help there and running great risks in doing so. But there needs to be a very big message to governments around the world, not just Western governments, but it can be led by Western governments, that this is a crisis that isn't just confined to a small country far away. This is the heart of the Middle East. It's afflicting not just Syria, but the 4 neighbouring countries, Turkey, Iraq, Lebanon and Jordan. And the contagion will spread further because we cannot afford the creation of a new kind of Afghanistan, a bad land where no one's in control in the middle of the Middle East. This is a geopolitical threat as well as a humanitarian catastrophe.